Good morning, everybody, or as I would say in Rome or anywhere in Italy, I would say benvenuto. Questo è Giuseppe. How do we say the last one?
Di Gennaro.
Di Gennaro. This is hard work speaking such good Italian.
There you go.
If you want to know, if you've ever been to Giuseppe's restaurant down in Inglewood, you'll know that Capo is one of the best restaurants going in the city, and it's a pleasure to have you with us here today. We're talking about olive oil today. Now, this is something you always work with.
I always work with olive oil, and also, you know, at the restaurant, being an Italian restaurant, we do mostly Mediterranean diet. So that's what we cook most of the times.
It just fit. And we're going to make something. What are we going to make?
Italians call it melanzane, so eggplant. Melanzane sott'olio, so it's eggplant in oil, or AKA pickled eggplants.
It sounds way better the way we say it in Italian. I like it. And you know what? I see these at the store, and I never know what to do. How do I get them? What do I look for?
These are eggplants are sort of scary vegetables for a lot of people.
Yeah.
By the way, eggplant is not even a vegetable. It's a berry. It belongs to the berry family.
Is it really?
Yes. So it is a very scary vegetable because it's a very bitter vegetable. So we really have to control the bitterness of the vegetables in itself when you actually cook it. What you look for eggplants? These are a little overgrown eggplants. The smaller they are, the better.
Okay.
They have less seeds, and therefore they're less bitter. So these ones are overgrown eggplants. They're nice to look at, maybe not as nice to eat. And over here we have a Japanese one or a Chinese one. This is an overgrown one as well, but this one has less seeds inside, so probably it's a lesser bitter eggplant. The eggplant itself, you know, to be able to get the bitterness out, some people put salt in it and they'll seep the salt into the eggplant and they wash it off. Me, I like to pan fry it first without putting any salt, and then dress it up with a marinade.
All right.
That's the best way to have it.
Let's do it. So what do you have to do?
So what do we do? We're actually going to cut this eggplant here. We're going to just cut a little small piece here, and we're going to take the skin off. A lot of bitterness is actually in the skin as well.
So simply by doing that, you end up getting rid of a lot of it.
Exactly, exactly. So we take the skin off the eggplant like this. Okay, set it on the side there. And we're going to cut. Well, so see, this one has no seeds whatsoever. Look at that.
That's good.
Which is a good thing. So chop it in small cubes. Okay, just need a little bit here. And then we got some olive oil. We got two types of olive oil here.
Okay.
I got a first olive oil that is not as intense as the second one here. The one that is not as intense, it's still very, very nice olive oil, extra virgin, all that. But we're going to use it for cooking.
Okay.
So we're going to put it in a hot pan like this. And right away we're going to throw in some eggplants. So we're just going to pan fry the eggplants.
Yep.
Okay.
And now while you're cooking this up, you were at an event yesterday where you're doing some of this cooking. Tell us where you were there.
We were at the Willow Park Golf Course.
Yeah.
And actually, it was an event about, again, Mediterranean diet. We had some guests from Italy as well, some a doctor from Italy as well, talking about the heart diseases and all that, the benefit of the Mediterranean diet and all that. So it was a good turnout. A lot of people enjoyed it. There was a whole bunch of chefs as well making some food, and it was great. Everybody enjoyed it.
It looked delicious. We were looking at some video of it earlier, and it just looked absolutely delicious. How's the eggplant doing?
These eggplants here, actually, you know, they just, you need to get the eggplants golden brown. So they're actually very good as is.
Yeah.
The actual final result, you want to have some already made earlier. So the final result is this one right here. So I'm going to set this aside. So when eggplants are golden brown, what you want to do, you want to actually season these eggplants right away when they're hot. When they're hot, the eggplant's got a little bit of oil on it still. You want to season them so the salt sticks to the eggplant. The next thing you want to do for the eggplant, I'm going to show you what we do here. We're going to get a clove of garlic, you know, crush it, and, you know, Mediterranean diet is actually very rustic cuisine in itself. So don't worry about fancy cuts and all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? So chop your garlic like that, throw it in the eggplant, fresh mint, a little bit of fresh mint like this.
I love mint. You have to be careful that mint travels far, right? You don't
absolutely,
need a lot of it.
absolutely. And so, you know, put that in there. And of course, some chili flakes. That's an optional thing. It's nice to have them, though. It's not a...
Put a bit of zip in there.
Yeah. A little bit of salt again. And then we're going to use the second olive oil, which I call it a finishing olive oil. It's a little more intense olive oil. It's got more fruitiness and really tastes the olive. It's very fresh.
Plate this up, and then we're going to serve it to our wonderful guests here.
Well, the last thing you want to do here, just a little touch of vinegar. You can use any vinegar. I'm using balsamic here, but you can use any vinegar, actually. Just a touch. We're going to stir that around a little bit like this. Okay. Now, the only thing about this dish is that, you know, once you marinate the eggplant, you really don't want to serve this right away because it's going to be a little too fresh. You want the eggplant to soak up some of the juices and the oil.
Yes.
So you just put it on the plate, you know, and sort of it's nice and shiny and all that, and it's a beautiful dish. But let it sit for a day in a jar, and this can be stored in a tight jar with a tight lid up to 6 months in a cool place. So you don't, and you'll be just fine as long as it's covered in olive oil. So we have a fun product here that we made earlier. So we're going to bring this over
to our friends.
To our friends.
Oh,
And
hi,
probably,
you two.
Well, hello. We get to eat now?
There's a little something we found. Now,
Brilliant.
if I'm buying olive oil,
I'll just eat like this.
Yes.
is there one better than the other? Like, is it extra virgin is better than another kind, or what?
You know,
am I looking
you should
for?
always buy extra virgin.
Thank you.
The bread that is not extra, the olive oil that is not extra virgin.
Yeah.
It's a substandard quality of olive oil, and usually it's used for cooking and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
If you intend to actually eat olive oil at a raw stage, like just drizzled on finished off foods, you want to have, you want to buy the best olive oil you can buy, extra virgin olive oil you can buy, and it has to be.
Do you get what you pay for?
Most time you do. It depends where the oil comes from, and of course, there's a lot of things, and the label of your bottles you should sort of be very aware of, and also there's olive oils that are cold pressed, other than not the late harvest, early harvest, fresh olive oil. There's so many different things.
How is it going, Tara?
I can't talk. My mouth is full.
Is it good eating?
Come on over in.
Okay, folks,
This
and
is
again,
excellent.
if you're looking for some great food, Capo down in Inglewood is a great place to go. Giuseppe's always there doing great work. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
for
My
coming in.
pleasure.
Good to have you with us here. Thank you so much for coming in. Good.
Thank you, man.
It's great to have you with us here. How is it, Tara? Good?
So good.
All right.
Okay, Rich has our email winners coming up right after the break.
Gets too late.